to the Skills Room. This is Off Script with myself, Cookie, and the East Coast Iniesta, Mr. Lewis, right to the side. I just want to thank everybody for all the support so far you're showing to these podcasts. It's amazing to see how many people are watching and listening to them. So we do thank you continuously for continued support of the podcast. Right, that's all that gibberish out of the way. Over to you, Mr. Wright, to introduce our lovely guest.
Evening, Cookie. We have an absolute corker today. I cannot wait. There's lots of stories coming up, especially for the people who are listening who are true Boston United fans. We've got the one and only Mr. Nick Jackson. How are you, Nick?
I'm all right, thank you.
I'm not going to call you Nick. That's the last time I'm calling you during the podcast. You're Jacko. You've always been Jacko to me. I don't know why I called you Nick, to be fair. So we've got an absolute corker episode. Cooks, before we get into the nitty gritty with Jacko, did you want to talk about the Just Giving pages?
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So we just set a couple of Just Giving pages up just to say thank you to the Community Foundation, which me and Righty work for, and the NHS for the amazing work they keep doing. We've had some donations already, so if you could continue to support that, that would be great. And we'll keep providing these podcasts for you. There you go, Righty.
Love that. Right, let's get into it. Jacko, how's life at the minute? Big news of the night. Big news of the night. Football is returning.
I'm happy with that. I missed it.
Have you had news yet? A proper start date for yourself?
We haven't had a proper start date, but I think there's something in the pipeline about regional League Cup games or something. Something's happening.
Just want to get back out playing, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I'm getting old.
Staying fit. You're a dad now. You've got to be very busy.
If fit's looking like a dad bod, then yeah, not too bad.
Oh, my days. So, hopefully we'll get you back on the pitch ever so soon. Obviously, you're at Hull Beach now. He's skipper. You tend to be skipper most places you go.
No, that's my good friend Spenny. He's skipper at the minute.
Oh, right. You need to get it off him. So, Jacko, like off script normally happens, we normally start with your upbringing, the pathway into the game. Where did it all begin for Jacko?
I think it was 4 years old. Started at a place called CMS Coaching. Carl Smith used to do it. I used to play for the year above because I was one of the youngest.
Right.
Very good. Enjoyed it. Which moved on to Mark Melson, who took over, and we had a phenomenal age group. It was BYP, Boston Young Pilgrims was called. We won everything in the Lynx A League. It was literally amazing. Even we had ties with Boston United then before we even had a youth team. We used to get a little pass with your photo on it, which means you got in for free. You just felt like royalty. And then we moved to FDC. Again, Melly moved us just as the academy was starting up. Melly moved us across to FDC. For those of us that didn't get into the academy and those that did, we kind of split up, but we still kept a strong enough team.
Where was it based? Where locally? Where was you playing?
It used to be a place called Westfield House we used to play at. It's in Wibberton. It's near Garfix Park, but across the road.
It's a housing estate now, right?
Yeah, it's a housing estate now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the field's still there or not, but that's where we was based, and that's where we happened.
Awesome. So when Melly moved you across to the new one, the F, what did you say? FDC, was that the same place? It just transferred names, or did you move somewhere?
No, I think we moved actually. From what I remember, I think we moved to Curtin Middlecop as home games.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So when you was playing for the FDC, was you a left back? We heard on the other podcast, like somebody was a centre forward. I think it could have been Fieldy. And you know, Butch was always going to be a goalkeeper in his eyes. So did you ever dabble in other positions, or was you always?
No, I think I always wanted to be a striker. I always thought, I'll tell you what, I can wallop a ball with my left foot, which was quite a rarity. But I think as soon as I started going into coaching, then realised that I wasn't scared to head the ball at a young age. I think, I'll go stand at the back and head that ball, which is pretty much the same at 30 years old.
That's a career, and that is the pathway. Started young. So obviously you mentioned Melly. Did you have any other key influences as a youngster? Obviously, Melly must have been big for you.
Yeah, I can't. Melly really did it. He continues to do it now. He's bringing through players that are making it into first team squads or league football and things like that. He was the main man. He was.
Awesome. And so you've gone through obviously winning a lot of stuff. It sounds like. Was you ever scared? Was you on the radar for anyone?
No, actually, not that I know of. I never had any offers. I was always just the fat little left back, really, that had a football. So nobody was really bothered at what I could do.
Just carrying a bit, mate, was you? You was carrying a bit as a left back.
Yeah, I was. I was a little podgy little guy.
Really? Unbelievable. Hard to think now. Now he's so scrawny. So he was never on the radar. Scouting wise, Melly obviously kept you hidden away as a secret.
He did. I think we folded. We folded at about under 14s, under 15s, and then I went across to Boston Town. I had a trial with Boston United as they set up originally, and they offered me a 6-week further trial. I thought, do you know what? I'm not bothering. I don't want to do a next 6-week trial and then get let down. So I didn't bother. I went and played at Boston Town. I think I played at Boston Town to under 16s. Then I got asked to go to the development squad, the Boston United Academy. I was there for half a season from Christmas. And then obviously moved. Well, I got released originally.
Wow.
I remember that. I got released at under 16s, and then I went to become a builder. And then I remember one pre-season, I got a phone call from Welsh saying about what was happening, being demoted to Blue Square North. There's a space come available. Can we offer you a scholarship? Oh yeah, absolutely. So I docked the tools and being a builder and went and played football for a couple of years.
Interesting. Obviously, I've known you all these years. I never knew you would end up nearly becoming a builder.
Yeah.
So that answers the next question then. So the youth breakthrough, I was going to say, how did you make it in? Obviously, Welsh picked up the phone to you, seeing who's knocking about on a building site at that time. And
I think I was the only one that picked up.
Yeah, get Bob the Builder in. So Welsh picks up the phone, you come in, scholarship just out of there, you didn't have to trial?
No, I remember having the meeting because Boston was still a league club. He said to me, Steve Evans wouldn't give him an extra scholarship place, and it might have been an excuse, it might not. It's easy to say that to someone's face.
Yeah.
He said, I can't offer another space. He said, I'm not allowed. And he said, I'm really sorry. I was like, devastated. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be a pro footballer now. So yeah, that was that. And then he picked up the phone. I think it was during the summer after all the commotion. I think one of the lads left and went to Peterborough, I think he did. And then he rung me straight away and said, oh, there's a space available again. Will you come? And I jumped at it. And then he said, we're going to offer you a scholarship. And I was like, oh, no. I want to do a schoolboy. I want to do a schoolboy. I want to be getting my grades and things like that as a backup, because I've already had this little bit of a knockback. I want something to fall back on. But I discussed it with mum and dad, like you should do. And they said, no, go for it. So I did. I joined as a scholarship, and it was the best 2 years I've ever had.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, we've spoke many a time, and obviously leading up to this, and that's why I know it's going to be a call, because I've seen what's coming up. And the youth team, like the guys we've had on, and it's sort of, this is why I came up with the concept with Cooks about the off script, to give you guys a bit of a platform, because it is genuinely the best 2 years of your.
Unbelievable.
I don't think I've known people who's come through the pathway who've gone, right, do you know what? Terrible. I hated every single second. Not a chance. So yeah, just tell us reasons why the youth team days are the best 2 years.
Honestly, you play football every day. You literally play football every day. You get paid for it. I know it's not enough, not a lot, but you get paid for it, and you get an education on the side. So basically, your full-time job is a footballer with an education on the side. I mean, what else could you want?
All right.
It's not just that. It's being in the change room with a squad of mates. You literally become a little family for 2 years. it's amazing.
You get into your set routines as well. You know, you boys would go training and then go and batter tiffins or whatever it's called up the road.
Yeah, when you get your free bat, you can't turn that down, can
you?
you?
You used to get an allowance back in the day, didn't you? Most of the kids nowadays will get that. So the players that we obviously on the last podcast with Jono, you came up quite a bit during his talk and stuff, and I listed off a number of different players who are still playing today within the game. He likes of Becky's, like you mentioned James Davis off camera, Lee Beeson, and people like that. Mitch, Jono. So, you know, who was sort of the standout out of that crop of players for you, apart from yourself, obviously?
For me, I couldn't give it to one person. I feel like it was quite a unique bunch. And I know I listened to the last podcast. Jono touched on it a little bit, that the Boston or the local lads stuck together, and it was the other lads that you're from, your Birminghams, your Burtons, your Newcastles, your Londons, that were kind of not the Boston bit, like the Boston boys. I don't know how to put it. The Boston boys had the bit between the teeth. They had that bit of grit that the others didn't have from out of county. Whereas the other lads out of county had the bit of quality that the Boston boys didn't have. So we had a really unique blend that just worked. Going with the quality, three immediately that jump out from my year group would be Mitch Griffiths, Alex Beck, Jono. They're the three that immediately jump out as being, you know what, they had something really much about them.
Yeah, and they was highly regarded as well. Highly regarded behind the scenes. Obviously, along with yourself, without obviously embarrassing you too much. So, you know, that was a key success of, you know, Welsh's time with you as well. What sort of influence was he on you?
He was amazing. I've touched on Melly before. I think I've been blessed really with some of the coaches I had as a youngster. I had Melly, and then I had Welshie. I mean, you can't get much better than that, even though he released me. He was amazing. He literally took me under his wing. He had me the fittest I've ever been, which comes with full-time football.
But do you think potentially playing for a guy who's just released you, then he's come back for you, you just knew that boundary and you knew you had to perform, or else that's going to happen again?
Yeah, I think it was. For 2 years, I wanted to prove to him that, you know what, you made a decision there that I don't agree with. Yeah. So that's that bit between our teeth. That's the bit where you want to prove people wrong, and you just dig in deep. Every session, he either beasted us or we did something with the balls, but I always wanted to be the best person on that training field.
Yeah, we'll come on to one of the stories in a minute. Actually, I know what you've got about the beast things. And but did you, to be a successful defender like you've become and stuff, did you ever like work on a lot? I know you've got a long throw in your locker. Is it something you worked on, or is it just naturally there?
What, as in defence, being a defender?
Yeah, being a defender, obviously the long throw you've got.
Yeah, I think it helped as well. It helped as well that Welshie was a defender. So everything that he said to me was literally gold dust. I just literally took it all in. I remember the first thing he said, or one of the first sessions it was, or something it come across, is look at the man next to you, and if they're better than you, you've got to work on it and say, well, what have I got to do to be better than them? Which obviously I've been released, I've come in, and these boys have all been training together. I'm thinking, right, this is it. I've got to do it. So anything
you want that right there.
Yeah. Anything he said, I'm going to work on. So he set as a pre-season plan, and I was running around Witherton Field like my life depended on it. And that was before all these fit bits and stuff like that, where you could time yourself. I was literally just running the field. Yeah. And I remember he set as a pace on this thing. It said a slow pace, a medium pace, fast pace. I didn't have a bloody clue what was fast pace, medium pace, slow pace. So I just literally darted it as much as I could around Witherton Field. I don't think they had to mark the pitch out in the end, because I'd done it with my feet.
Hey, Chris Bray, if you're listening, get Jacko down there. He lives down the corner.
Luke, just on that, just a quality bit of advice there for some players coming in, that just work as hard as you can. you can clearly see there. Don't think, even if you have got that good bit of quality, don't think you're the best on the pitch, because they're the players that don't make it. You have to think, I can improve, I can be better, and that obviously seems like it helped you as well.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did.
Yeah, the development for you, the pace which you went at, and again, not just yourself, with all these other boys, was just incredible, really. Good team. So that the lows, obviously being within the youth, was probably just before when you got that release, but then obviously the high was coming back. Did you have any other highs whilst with the youth team? Any key successes what you can remember off the top of your head?
We got, from what I remember, we got quite a good league position in our first year. We were playing the likes of Halls, your Darlingtons, your Hartlepool, Bradfords. We had a really strong league. We did really well. I remember in the first year, FA Youth Cup, I think we played Lincoln, and they were giving it local bragging rights. They was going to smash us and do this and that. I think we ended up getting a draw. I can't remember if it was 2-0 down and come back to 2-2. We did lose on penalties in the end,
right,
which was unfortunate. But Sincil Bank under the line.
They don't count, Jacko.
Exactly. We'd take the draw. Everyone got a point. Second year, we had a good cup run again, the FA Youth Cup. I think we was one round from playing Leeds United.
Oh, what a dream for you that would have been.
Oh, unbelievable. We had a few Leeds supporters in the team. Me and Alex Beck, diehard Leeds fans.
Jono,
yeah, of course, Jono. Me, Jono, Beck, Lee Beeson at some point. We was diehard Leeds fans. We had a game against Oadby. We went 1-0 up, 2-1 up, conceded 1, and in the last minute, I can't remember the lad's name, I'm cursing to this day. He's given away a penalty in the last minute that everyone on the pitch has shouted, "Just stand your man," and he jumped into his back and gave away a penalty. 2-2 in the last minute, extra time, nothing, and we lost on penalties before we got Leeds. Still kick it to this day.
Devastating. Nothing worse than losing to them as well. That team.
No.
That L word down the road. So, highs, lows, everything that comes with the game. Let's get on to the funny stuff. I'm looking here across to my phone for the ones who are watching the recording, and I can see a picture of a nearly bald butcher. So
yeah.
Did you want to touch on, and this video will get put up because it is
That's
on
fine.
YouTube, okay, and
That's
you're a
good.
YouTuber, so you can put it on.
I'll send you the links. Make sure it's on.
So, do you want to touch on what happened with Butch? Obviously, we know from the previous podcast, Butch admitted he came in with a bit of the swag, which he does regret now. Did you want to tell the tale?
Yeah, I'd love to actually. Butch, bless him, he's a good lad. He still is a good lad. He come in, and I know he regretted it. He said it quite openly to everyone. He's come in and he said, "Oh, I tell you what, I'm not here to make friends. I'm in it for myself." Fair enough. We all was, but we never openly said it. There is a video on YouTube called Snoz's Haircut, and this is the story behind it. Basically, I think he's come in and he said, "You know what, boys? If I concede 3 in a game, you can shave my hair." And we're like, yeah, here we go. It's the only time we've drawn a game 3-3, and actually everyone's buzzing for Monday. I think we played Hartlepool and we drew 3-3. Immediately after, it was like in the group chat, and everyone in the change was like, "Butch, your hair's getting shaved, mate." Ash Nichols was in the first team at the time, and for some reason he left a shaver at the club. I was all like, "Yes, this is our moment." So we finished training, and Butcher sat in the barber's chair that we made. James Davies was on the shearing duties. Butch at the time had really long curly hair, which I think he's lost now, bless him, but he had long curly hair. So we started running this clipper through his hair. We got the front bit done first, we'll leave the sides till the end. Little did we know that the battery was quite low on the shaver, so we ended up shaving his hair We've just done the top bit, and he's ended up, bless him, looking like Krusty the Clown by the end of it because he's had just the side bits left. It was brilliant. That was a moment I'll never forget.
What's funny though is we already know that he didn't used to get picked up. He used to have to go to the bus station to catch the bus home.
I honestly, I've laughed so hard that day that it was amazing. One of the best days at youth team. off the back of conceding 3 as a defender, but
yeah. But hey, every silver lining, right? So that's a brilliant story. Like I said, Cookie, we need to get that link up. I'm sure Butch will be laughing. He'll probably be dreading Jacko coming on this day, actually. Did you want to tell the tale of when you was at Freeston and Welsh, you told you?
Yeah, obviously first team manager at the time was Tommy Taylor. I've done a lot of things unintentionally, which I think he grew to hate me. Which is probably why I never got a sniff at first team when he was manager. It's totally my fault. He was a top man. He had a lot of banter and a lot of knowledge, so you learnt a lot from him. But just the things we ended up doing, I did particularly, just never helped me. We used to have training sessions down Freeston at the Danny Fleer Centre. Particular sessions, he'd hammer me. I used to cross the ball. He used to call me seal feet because every time I'd scoop the ball, apparently, with my. He says, "Do you check the right size of your boot?" Because I couldn't kick it properly in front of his eyes. But I think I was just nervous. He wanted me to cross a ball to the back stick, but every time it had to be between two poles at the back. Every time I did it, I got a quid off him. Every time I didn't do it, I got hammered, basically, which is fair enough. Getting practice, bit of pressure. He used to, now and again, Welshie made us run back from Freeston to the ground. So one particular, he's beasted us like he usually did, SAQ work, run around the field, 60 seconds, the usual Welshie drills. So we thought, oh, come on, Welshie, man, we're knackered. No, go. He's gone off in the red van. We thought, tell you what, we'll start jogging down the back roads. So we've gone down the back roads. To this day, I want to say it's a tractor with a trailer. It's more likely a van, but we hitchhiked, basically. We stuck a thumbs up. We all of us got on the back of this tractor or a minibus, and it got us back to the ground. But it took us to the end of the back roads before we got to some built-up village, built-up area. So we was all being quite clever. We thought, we've been really clever here. We'll go a little bit slower so we get back to ground at about the right time that if we jogged it and run it. Little did we know that following the tractor or the minibus behind us was Tommy Taylor in his car, first team manager. So that didn't go down too well. He actually ended up making us run back to Freeston from the ground and then back from Freeston to the ground again. Not a brightest move.
You know what? I can actually remember you turning up and then leaving again. And,
it probably was that day.
Yeah, and I can actually still remember Butch walking out with the hair as well. I sort of tried to erase it, but it all come flooding back to me. Oh, brilliant! It just things like that. It just awesome. What? But you also did something else to Tommy Taylor, Jacko, didn't you? What else did you do to Tommy? Again, this is probably what coming up later. Yeah, he hated you. So
Tommy moved to the area. In Wibberton where I was living, he moved to the area. I was football mad as a youngster, so it used to get to any evening really. I'd be playing football in my mate's garden. He lived near the main road, near the Pincushion, so we were hammering shots and we were just messing about really with football. And we used to see Tommy now and again. I'd go on a run around with it, and he'd be walking his dog, say hello. Play football in the garden, he'd say hello. One night, I've hit probably the best shot I've ever done in my life. Full-size goal, it's in. You know what they say.
Yeah.
We didn't have a full-size goal. I've hit this shot left foot on top corner, but unfortunately we didn't have a top corner that was full-size. It's managed to go over the fence, miss the hedging, and Tommy's walking his dog. As he's coming onto the ball, it smacked him square in the face. I could see my scholarship going before my eyes. I've hit the first team manager with the ball square in the face.
Oh, brilliant!
It didn't go down too well.
What did you do? Did you hide?
Initially, our usual technique was if it went on the road, we just jumped to the floor. But obviously, it's hit Tommy Taylor square in the face, and he knows I play football there. So I've literally stood up the fence going like in between us, sorry, as quickly as I could. Checked he was all right, and he laughed at it, but I think deep down, I don't think he really liked it.
Everyone's down London Road seeing Jacko on his knees saying sorry.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Brilliant. Fantastic. No, I like that. But to be fair, Tommy used to get his own back, didn't you? What did he make you do one time?
Yeah, it was more than one time. If we had a match at York Street, he'd watch. I remember playing Hull in a league game, and again he was hammering me for me crossing. He said every cross that you hit and it goes out of play at the far stick. He says if you do 2 in a game, I'm going to make you clean the car. I remember doing 1 in the first half. Bloody hell, Nick, what are you doing? So every time I got the ball, I was thinking, don't cross it. I don't want to clean this guy's car. Midway through the second half, across the ball, he's sat in the stand where the commentary usually was. And it's gone straight out of play near him. All I remember is seeing Tommy Taylor stand up, clap his hands and go, Jacko, clean him a car. So I remember after the game, I had to clean his car.
Should have kept it safe.
Yeah, I should have.
Keep everything 5 yards. Oh, wow. Hey, the love-hate relationship between Tommy Taylor and Nick Jacko. Fantastic.
Exciting. At least we know now why Wan-Bissaka didn't cross the ball very often.
Exactly. No, great stuff. So you make it into the first team. How did that come about? Did you get a phone call to go in for training, or was it just a natural?
No, it was more of
where we were in the league.
I think it was more of where we were in the league, and Welsh's just got the job. I couldn't, with all the things that happened with Tommy, even if it wasn't kept in his head and it wasn't football related, I don't think I would have ever got a chance.
We're going to rewind though, because I've got down here, because I can actually remember, I remember it very, very well, because obviously the late great Dick Killick, who you probably
top
Boston United,
amazing.
No, sadly missed. Such a top gentleman. I was actually stood with Dick Killick and his wife that night, near the tunnel entrance at Skeg, where you, Beeson, and other youth team players played against Skeg.
Yeah.
At their old stadium back in the day. And I always remember fondly that you played really well. However, Tommy didn't think so.
No.
And he dragged you. And I can remember speaking to you when you come from the tunnel. I think you may have watched the second half or near the end of. And I was like, why you been dragged? You've been one of the best standout players. And I really remember your face just dropping, saying, told me I was rubbish.
Yeah, he did.
Basically, he said, we might as well play with 10 men. I think that's what he said to you. Right?
He did.
Look, how shattering is that as a youngster? And me, Dick Killick, I was stood with my dad as well. I was like, oh, Jacko, he's going to be one hell of a player for this team. Because, again, like we touched on with Jono, it was there in the palm of your hands, these kids. You got an opportunity of a lifetime where the club was at. And obviously, I know you're going to speak about Welsh taking it and you're getting your chance. But how was that on a night like that? That must have been another low point.
It was a pre-season game. I remember it really well. We had, I think we had a game before that as well. We played Sleaford, and he gave me 20 minutes as a right winger, which it was doing me no justice really. And then we played Skeg the next day. Well, there is actually a background story to that, which is you could class it as an excuse, but it did mess us up a bit. It was in a car. It was me, Butch. I want to say Crash, Beck.
Yeah.
We was driving home from the ground, and for some reason this van started following us, and it was chasing us all over town. And we got through into town, I don't know why. I don't know to this day. It was really random. This bloke started trying to kick Beck's door in to drag us all out and beat us up. He was trying to smash his windows, smash his car. Butch actually saved me because I was frozen at the moment, like, what are you doing to this bloke? And Butch reached through from the back and locked the door because this bloke was trying to pull me out for some reason. And this was on the way to get ready to go to Skeg to play the match. So we started the match against Skeg. I played left wing. Again, not a position that I like, but you got to put your face in the picture. And I to this day, I don't know. I froze. I think I've tried my hardest as always and grafted and put my head down, but I think Tommy was right. I didn't have my best game. I really didn't. He was right to drag me. Maybe the words were a bit harsh, but you're getting into men's football, you've got to deal with it. That's what you're going to get. I don't think I really did enough to warrant Tommy taking a liking to me and giving me that chance. Especially, it got to the point he signed Rob Wesley. He was a left back. Nick Reeson got signed up. He's ended up being my boss. I looked at it and I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to get a chance here. Things changed, obviously. Welshie got the job. Tommy did his job, did a brilliant job. Welshie come in and he put his trust in his trusted youth players. I think within a couple of weeks, he said to me, get ready. He told me on the Friday before, I can't remember who it was against. I remember the player I was against. I can't remember the team. I want to say it was Witten or something like that. He said, you're starting tomorrow after training on Friday. I was like, oh, yeah, brilliant. Can't wait. Went home buzzing, big Cheshire grin on the face. I told my mum, told my dad, told them, you're not allowed to come watch me play. I think that was more of a fear, like, oh, if I have a stinker here and I've got my mum and dad in the crowd, they're going to listen to abuse at me. Dad's going to end up chinning someone, or more likely my mum will end up chinning someone. I can't be doing with that. I remember it well. I couldn't sleep that night, and I got up. I think I was one of the first to the ground, to be fair. In that Welshie made us wear a jacket, suit and tie job, and we'd go to the New England for breakfast before. I thought, bloody hell, this is it. This is a bit of me, this. Get my beans on toast on tap and to go to the ground to play for the first team. I thought, bloody hell, hometown club. I thought, yes, love it, because I used to watch Boston from the Leroy Chambers, David Rennie, people like that. I was a Boston fan through and through, even through to the league, like your Mark Reeves, Paul Ellenders, Rusky, Mailer. I used to go away, home and away.
Home and away, yeah.
So I thought, brilliant. This is it. This is what I've been waiting for. I think we played someone. I want to say it's Witten Albion. I might be totally wrong. We played this team, and it was Leon Osman's brother on the right wing. Oh, pissing out. He's going to be good. So in the first 2 minutes, we went for a challenge together, and I ended up headbutting him by accident, and he's gone off injured. And I got up and carried on. And I remember at half time, and Welshie went, well, that's it. You've done it. You've done your job. You've got your man off the pitch, or you've scared him enough to do him. And he was bullying. I think I played really well. It was all a blur. I can't remember anything else other than that second minute head collision. But it's weird. Your debut, you're building up to, and you can't remember it.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Jacko, there is concussion policies out there now, so
yeah,
that's probably fine. So yeah, how the game's evolved, but no, that's the old school mentality of the likes of Welsh's and probably even Tommy's. You know, that older style manager. You've done your job, and that's what it's about. That is welcome to non-league. So yeah, I've got. Again, shout out to Christian James on Twitter at Boston United Stats. He sent me your stats across before we go into more detail about the first team. Because your first team stats, Jacko, you played for the first team in 2008, 2009. You made 13 appearances, 12 starts. I'm guessing that was with Welshie.
Yeah.
So 2009 to 2010, you made 5 appearances with 4 starts. Debut came away at Spalding in the Unibond League Cup. This is the same as John, I believe. 1-6-1 after extra time.
Yeah, crazy.
8 starts in a row from the 20th of Jan to March the 3rd, 2009, with 4 clean sheets in 8, which is very good. 2 league and 3 cup appearances in the treble winning season of 09-10 season. With the games you've been played in were Brig, Lincoln United, Bradford Park Avenue, and at home to Ashton United and Hucknall. So that's not too bad, to say the least, because, and I got this off Jacko earlier, because again, looking back in the past, it was a blur. I thought Jacko saw the season out and he was there with the likes of Rob and Paul, which we're going to touch on now, with how it was to play for them. However, Jacko actually left at Christmas time, and wasn't part of that squad, which, like I keep on saying, we'll come on to. So let's go first on how was it to play for Rob and Paul for the time they were there.
They were a different level. They were class. They were so professional, and you could see there's going to build something amazing. You just knew it straight away. They offered me a 6-week trial, which I think they did with all the youth team. I think from what I remember, it was only me and Alex Beck that took it. I think Butch was already on contract by then.
Yeah, they needed a goalkeeper.
Yeah. And then they offered me and Alex Beck a trial. We both took the trial. Or sorry, no, I'll go back. I was doing injustice to the other people. They offered everybody a trial, but only me and Alex Beck accepted it. Yeah. So we went for it to Cranwell. We was training twice a week, 3 times a week, whenever they called us, and was both really trying to get this deal. It happened to fall that they didn't find a left back, so they kind of took a shining to me. Again, I looked at it as well. She said, "You've got to make yourself stand out." And I remember we used to do these runs that I think Butch touched on it slightly. We used to do 12-minute runs around the cricket field. I think I finished 3rd behind Churchy and Sleafy, who those two I was never catching in a million years. They're just fitness freaks. I was just a little fat lad plodding along as hard as I could.
I think, to be fair, you're doing yourself injustice there. You had thinned out by then. You're not the little fat cat.
Yeah. I was
playing at FDC now.
No, I was 17 years old. 17 years old. 17 years old, running around a field, and I was trying my hardest.
Yeah. Hey, look, and that's what you had to do, and you proved your point. Did both you and Becky get taken on then?
I think it got so close to the season. I think Beck made a decision not to pursue it anymore, and he wanted to get first team football. Which I think if he stayed, I do think he would have got a deal.
Yeah.
I think it was the week later they turned around and said to me, "Oh, we like it. We're going to offer you a deal," which was perfect in my eyes. That was just before the week before we started pre-season matches.
Yeah. Going back, I think Crash signed as well because he was part of the treble winning season.
Well, he was the second year youth team at that point,
right?
And he had first team forms as well. So yeah, he was part of it as well. Yeah. It was still we had pre-season friendlies, and I was playing every game. I was starting every game, and I was doing all right. I was holding my own. I thought, yeah, come on, this is good. I think we got to the first game of the season, and I totally don't blame him at all. You're not going to throw a 17-year-old into the tough mix. We had FC Manchester away. I remember I got on the bench. I was buzzing with that, to be honest. We played at Bury's ground. If it was, I think it was Bury. We played at Bury's ground. And I don't get me wrong, I was heartbroken when they read the team sheet. It was the first game that I wasn't selected to start under Rob Scott and Paul Hurst. But again, I can totally understand their reasons. That the team they had at their disposal was a joke. I sat on the bench for that, and then I think after that it was bit parts here and there. But I remember going training, and they was letting people like Millie. He was coming back from fitness from breaking his leg,
Yeah.
Was letting Millie go get loan games here and there. I think a lad called Matt Kennedy, he was going getting loan games.
Yeah.
Every time that I asked, oh, can I go out on loan? Can I get some game time? It was a no, we need you here. But I wasn't making the squad. And I thought, oh, what's the point? What's the point?
Who was keeping you out, Jacko? Who, at that time?
They played a couple of lads who were right backs who were class, to be fair to them. There was James Cullingworth,
yeah,
and Chris Woody. They were good. They were really good. They were better than me, but they were right backs in my eyes. I thought, well, I'm not getting a chance here. I'm a left back, and 2 right backs are playing instead of me. So I was thinking, well, can I go out on loan? Can I try and prove myself, get myself in their eyes, start making a name for myself, and see if I can get back and get back in the team? But every time I asked, it was a straight no. And
it was probably because they was getting paid a little bit more, Jacko, so they felt more worthwhile.
Yeah, I was this 17-year-old. I thought, I've played a few games last year. I should be doing all right here.
Yeah.
And then to get to a point where I'm not training full time anymore, I'm not playing football. I've gone stagnant, and it really started to grate on me. And then at Christmas, Stamford rung and said, "Oh, we're going to put an offer in. Will you join us?" And I thought about it, and I ummed and ahed, and like you do, I'm going away from a hometown club. It's the team that I love.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do it. I sat at the Christmas do. We went on a night out in Lincoln. I was still 17. I still managed to get in. And I remember Danny Davidson spoke to me. He said, "Jacko, don't leave. He says, you're young." He said, "Just bide your time and wait." And I wish I did, because it's always the what if. If you stay, would I have done something? Would I have played more games, which would have been lovely? But in hindsight, I don't think I was good enough anyway. I don't think I was good enough for that level, and you've got to accept that when you become a football player. So I dropped down the leagues and I joined Stamford, and I thought, I'll start building my way up. I'll prove to them, like I did with Welsh, I'll prove them wrong. I'll grit my teeth and get on with it again. And I went from there.
Yeah, like you say, the what ifs, like Big Danny D was saying, just bide your time. But the obviously within yourself, you're thinking, I'm probably not good enough, and you've made that assumption of yourself. I know for a fact, from a coach looking in, and as a fan, I personally thought you was, and we had this discussion anyway, because I think you was potentially working for us at that time as well.
Yeah, I think I was.
And like, what are you doing? Where are you going there? But at the end of the day, it's about playing football. It's about being happy, and upset at the same time because it's your hometown club. But the only thing you can take out of that, Rob Scott and Paul Hurst, who were straight shooters, they were quite reluctant to not let you go. So that must have told you something, that you were good enough in their eyes. However, they're at the position where it's a results-based thing. You've got somebody on X amount of money, which is probably a bit more than what they're paying a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
They probably think we have to play them because we're paying them more. We're paying them more, sorry. So that's what it's probably come down to.
It probably did. Yeah.
Hey, it's a massive decision to leave to go to Stamford, because obviously you're training with the likes of, or training against somebody like Mark Newsham. You're trying to Mark Newsham.
Yeah.
Trying to handle Big Danny D. It was a handful in more ways than one. I'm sure.
Yeah, he was.
You're probably going for 1v1 battles against Sean Pearson.
Yeah, that's.
I wouldn't fancy that, to be fair. I'll give it a go. Sean was an absolute rock, wasn't he? He was just
Yeah.
You're trying to keep up with the running. Like I say, you came third behind Churchy and Sleethy. Again, Sleethy's probably completed an extra lap or two.
Sleethy was a joke.
Backpack full of bricks.
Churchy and Sleethy, they had that friendship together where they just competed, and they were amazing. They were a joke.
And so, massive decision to leave the club. When you was there, who would you probably said was the standout? I know fitness wise, Sleethy, Church, but football and technical ability, who would you say caught the eye and they used to produce in games as well?
It was for me. I can go through a defender, midfielder, and attacker. For me, defender Sean Pearson. What a player! What a player! I mean, I've never seen a man attack a ball as good as him.
Yeah.
A centre half getting over double figures a season, and you was guaranteed it from him. Unbelievable. And he had that application about himself where he might not be the most technical, but he's gonna do it. And you could see from the start that he was going to go pro. He was good. Midfield Churchy, again, he went pro. He went to Grimsby as well. He was technically good. It was hard in the tackle. He could score a goal, find a pass. Up front, Noosh, the Noosh. He's always going to get a goal, isn't he?
He's got a VIP lounge named after him.
Exactly. He was the man that when he arrived, I thought, tell you what, all these superstars, I'm going to add them all on Facebook. He was the man that didn't do social media. I don't think he owned a phone when he turned up for pre-season.
The only thing I got common with Noosh was we both got called up to jury service at the same time. I remember that, but Noosh went, I didn't. I had health problems, so I got out of it. So you make the decision and you go and join Stanford. We're going to revisit that bit in a minute, but we're going to stay on the Boston United theme. And Cooks, I think you're going to do this bit today.
Here we go.
So I'll hand you across to him.
So it's the 1 to 11. So I believe Righty asked Jacko to pick a 1 to 11. You chose a Boston 1 to 11. Am I right?
Yeah, I think UCL would have been too difficult. The amount of times of clubs I've been at and played with and against, it's been too difficult.
So we got a Boston 1 to 11. So let's start. What formation are you going with first?
A Mike Bassett, 4-4-2.
4-4-2.
Yeah.
Who's in goal for you?
I didn't play with many goalies. I've chose a good friend and a top goalkeeper, James Doughty. He was really, really good, and he was. I think he made the bench. He might have made a few appearances when he was in the league. I played with him at the youth team only a handful of games. But the boy, when he's on it, he's ridiculous. He can boot the ball the length of the pitch, which I love because it's away from danger. I think we played one youth team game against York, and he scored. James Doughty scored. I thought, whoa, what's this guy? I remember we trained at Cranwell. He was against Anthony Eldon. He was just pulling out save after save after save after save. So he has to go in it for me. He was class.
Yeah, top stuff. Left back?
This is where I struggled a little bit. I couldn't pick a left back. So I just chose my 4 favourite defenders, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cookie, that's going to be a weird graphic, mate.
It is. I mean, you can put it however you like.
That's what you call it in coaching terms, an overload.
Yeah.
I started with Sean Pearson. He was just head and shoulders above every other defender that I've played with. Attacking a ball, tough in the tackle. He literally put his head through a brick wall. Partnering him, I had Paul Ellender.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough that when I broke through a Welshie, that Ellie agreed to come back and he was playing as well. Again, what I learned from him in just a short space of time, even just training with him, brilliant. Really a leader, a true leader. And obviously with his league appearances behind him, he's a Boston legend, isn't he?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Say again, sorry.
He's got a bar named after him at the new club.
Yeah. It's like I'm promoting the new stadium with all these names.
He wants to tour.
Next one I've got is Michael Wood. He was somebody to look up to. He was breaking in. He was one of Tommy's boys. Tommy loved him, and for every reason he should. He was breaking into the Blue Square North team, and he was getting player of the month at 18 years old and things like that. He was built correctly. Would go training at Jeff Moldraft, and Woody would be in the sauna or steam room, and he'd be doing sit-ups and press-ups in the sauna and steam room. So, Woody, just chill. But that is literally what you needed to do to get into the first team, and his dedication got him to it. It's just a shame that it didn't work for him.
The thing with Woody, did you ever see him smile? It was very, very serious, wasn't he?
He was a mean guy. If you ever got in a headlock from Woody, you're not getting out of it. And last person in my defenders is Canners. It's class. Obviously, being a fan, watching him in the league for Boston and getting the chance to play with him is just brilliant. Not just the fact that he was one of my idols, he's a top class defender. Started at Arsenal and made his way down. Just a true ball player. So,
and he was top at getting all those lads on insurance as well, right?
Yeah, I think a clean sweep of that.
I think I'm still paying for it.
Yeah, brilliant defence there. Like it. Onto midfield.
Midfielders, I've got a little formation for this. I think you can work that quite well. My centre mids, Sleafy and Churchy. I can't look past them. What they did for Boston and is ridiculous. They literally carried the team between them. They got the games by the scruff of the neck. They complement each other so well. Church would be the physical. Sleafy would then do the running and the passing, or the other way around. Sleafy would do the physical. Churchy would do the running and the passing. They're just brilliant to watch. They really were a class above. On the wing, I've got Jamie Yates. Do you remember Yatesy?
Yeah.
I've never seen a bloke at that point in my playing career. I've never seen a bloke that could cross a ball so pinpoint. He could beat his man with a little shimmy, and he's in. He was class. Really good, nice bloke as well.
He didn't have to clean Rob and Paul's car then.
No, he's good at passing. On the other wing, I went with my youth teamers, Mitch. Mitch was so underrated. He had class to be so good. I nearly put him at right back until I remember they played with Canners, and he couldn't get in ahead of Canners, bless him. He would have to be right back for me, right mid. Sorry, he was so good. He is to this day. He's the bloke. He could go out on a Friday night to this day, and he'd turn up on a Saturday, which he has done in the past, and still be the best player on the pitch. He really is good. And he's still playing to a good level now. I think he's at Peterborough Sports. I think they beat Boston in the cup 2-3 years ago, and Mitch was a standout performer that day. Again, I think he was showing them what they're missing.
Yeah.
So he has to make it for me.
Yeah. Top midfield strikers.
The Noosh. He's got to be in it. You guaranteed goals from him. Wherever they are in the box, guaranteed Noosh will turn up to get a tap in. Not a problem. The other one, Ricky Miller. So much untapped potential with that guy. He was class. He would not give you a second as a defender, and some of the goals that he's gone on to score for Boston and for every other team he's played with are just ridiculous. He's just got that mentality where he's got to prove people wrong. He's got to do it. He's got to be the guy, the fittest guy. I think if you look at him now or follow him on social media, you see that he's out doing runs. He's the busiest guy that you can see, but he wants it. He wants it that bad that he's going to make it, and he has. He has.
He reminds me of that Jamie Vardy style striker.
Yeah.
Hunts you down, works hard for the team, leads from the front.
Yeah, that's true. That is totally true. And you always need someone like him.
Yeah.
Ricky's one of the best players for rolling a defender and earning penalties. The amount of penalties he would earn in a season is, it was astonishing. And he just used to do the same. But you would, even if he was having a quiet game, you'd never take him off, because one ball into him, roll, you get a penalty. And if you've got decent penalty takers in the team, you're on to a winner.
Yeah.
Do you have a bench, Jacko?
I didn't actually. I didn't put a bench.
No.
I didn't.
He's that
straight
confident
11.
in his starting 11. He doesn't need any subs.
Yeah, sorry.
Proper full-on Mike Bassett. So, there's a few contenders in here. Who would you go for as your captain, skipper?
Well, looking at it, I've got the team in front of me, so I didn't forget it. I mean, it is a team full of leaders.
Yeah.
It's got to go to Ellie. It's got to go to Ellie. Like, it could have gone to Sean. It could have gone to Churchy, Canners, any of them. But Ellender for me, he was just brilliant.
Unreal.
Quality.
Yeah.
Who would manage your team?
It's got to be Scotty and Hurst. It's got to be. As much as I want to give it to Welshie, Scotty and Hurst, they turned up and got what they were brought in to do. They delivered, and they were brilliant.
Boy, did they do that. Until they went and joined the Mariners. So that's your Boston time. So going back, obviously you made the decision to leave Stamford. Now, I was having a discussion with you earlier, Jacko, about the teams, because I started writing them down. I'm thinking, this can't be right. He has played for so many teams. Basically, Cookie, Jacko is also called Mr. Lincolnshire or Mr. UCL local, because he has played for every single local team, and he's probably joined them on multiple occasions as well. So I'll list you them, because if you're not au fait with them. So here we go. So he obviously joined Stamford on that Christmas time. Good stat though here, and this is a stat not from Christian James. This is from Jacko himself. He joined in that treble-winning season. However, he won the Link Senior Shield against Boston on penalties that season.
Yeah, I think it's that season or the season after. I think we played at York Street.
I would think, comparing it to what Christian said, I would say it was the season after.
Yeah, I think it might have been the season after, to be fair.
Because they might have classed that as the treble, you see.
Yeah, I think it was the season after.
So he had short spells at Wisbech and Spalding. He's played for Boston Town numerous times, Pinchbeck, and he's currently at Holbeach United. Jacko, why so many?
In a nutshell, I've chased the money.
There we go.
Yeah.
Chase the money. Is there any teams that you've played for where you probably thought, I should have stayed a bit longer, I shouldn't have made the jump for money?
Yeah, Stamford. When I was at Stamford, they went on to win the league and promotion the year I left. It was a common theme. Leave Boston to win it, leave Stamford to win it. I should have stuck out longer there. Holbeach, I should have stayed at Holbeach the first time. But yeah, not many regrets really. Hindsight would have been a wonderful thing. I wish I didn't chase the money, but at the time when I'm getting the money, I'm thinking, yeah, this is a good decision.
Yeah. Well, that's non-league for you, and you know
it is.
Yes, it's enjoyable, and you're with your mates playing and whatever. But at the same time, it also pays the bills, and it's a second job. And like anybody, people move jobs to where the money's at. So, no, I knew you would come out with that anyway. I just didn't think you'd admit it on camera, to be honest.
No, I don't. No shame in it. No shame.
Boston Town, was you there with the FA Cup run when Frosty was in charge? Was you there then?
No, I wasn't there then. I wasn't there with Frosty for that, although he did a really good job.
Yeah. With Holbeach, you won the Link Senior Cup. Link Senior Cup. Won the Link Trophy while she was there. You was captain as well.
Yeah, that was an achievement.
Been any relegation battles?
No, I've always been towards the top of the leagues. To be fair, I've always been, never won it. I'd love to win it. Time's ticking on. COVID killing the ambition, but I've always been towards the top. Always top 5, top 6. UCL, always up there. Want to challenge. It helps as well that, like Jono mentioned in the past, I'm now back with Jono, where we've gone from left back and right back from grammar school days to now playing centre half each other because we both got slow.
But hey, first 5 yards are up there, Jacko. Remember that, hey? Or first 10 now.
Yeah.
So you've moved around clubs. Is there any manager which stands out, which probably, if they came calling, you'd go straight away? Or would it still have to be right for the situation you're in?
I think I've learned as I've got older and wiser that the best thing in football is to enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you're at a club and you're at a manager that rates you, you're playing, you're enjoying it, you're surrounded by good people, and stick at it. Let the manager build a team around you guys instead of you searching to fit into a team that's going to win something. You've
played under obviously Welsh, who's a top coach, and he went obviously got you into the first team manager. And you had Rob and Paul, you had Melly at grassroots. them non-league teams, local teams that you played for, is there any where you thought he puts on decent sessions? This is enjoyable.
Yeah, I've there's a few, to be fair. Simon Clark at Stanford, he was brilliant. He used to be the head of youth at Lincoln, and he got the Stanford job when I was there. He was amazing. He was really good. His sessions were top notch. I think he's something to do with Notts County Academy or Watford Academy now. He's gone to another academy. He was brilliant. His sessions were fantastic. Who else was there? I'm going to give him a mention. Tom Roberts. He was good at Holbeach, and then when he left, Daz Eady, he come in as well. I mean, Daz was a great player anyway. Anything at the front post, and he's nodding it in. But eventually, it turned to coaching us, and he got me back to the fitness that I wanted to be at, which eventually led us to winning that title with Holbeach. He was the one that made us fit, and at the start of the year, we looked like we were going to win the league. Unfortunately, it got to Christmas time and we kind of faltered off a little bit. But Daz was brilliant.
Well, how come you had like short spells at Wisbech and Spalding? Because it's quite funny.
Yeah, normally
Jono's at Wisbech. He went to Spalding and he said, I just couldn't fit into the mould. I wasn't suited to be there. Did you get that impression?
I was the same. I think it doesn't help that you go in and you're surrounded by all these superstars. There's like the Real Madrid Galacticos of the UCL at the time. There's chucking all this money here and there. Pat was the manager, and he signed me towards the end of the season, and they was going for the title. I think we played Holbeach. In fact, it was Holbeach, and they won 1-0 or 2-1. And one of the goals, it was totally my fault. I tripped over my own feet and ended up doing a roly-poly. But that time on, I thought my days were numbered, so I quickly left Spalding.
We need to find that clip.
I think there's a picture somewhere. I'm sure there is. I know there is.
Jacko doing his Robbie Keane impression. So, and it was that the same with Wisbech as well then?
No, Wisbech, and I'm doing injustice here. I would have mentioned Gary Setchell as well. He was a fantastic manager and coach. He was the manager at Wisbech. Unfortunately, it got to we were going to places like Newcastle away, and I was a teacher, and Cookie can vouch for this. He was in the school when I was a teacher, and I'd be turning up like a zombie because I played at Newcastle away, and then I'd turn up after the weekend and marking books and planning again. That I couldn't do my job at the same time as coach. As play. So I had to knock that on the head when the travelling took its toll too much, and I couldn't do my job. So I had to go back down to UCL and to a comfortable travelling area, really.
Yeah. And obviously John, he's changed his circumstances as well, and hence why I went to Holbeach. When life changes, obviously I spoke about it earlier. You're now a dad. How old?
3 years old. Yeah.
Years. Nice. My little boy turned 3 the other day, so I know it very well. So after football, but it sounds like you've retired from the game. You haven't. You're very much still within it. So you went on to do teacher training. Obviously, you worked for the Boston United Community Scheme alongside me and the other coaches within the community program. Like I keep on saying on every single podcast, you guys who came on was very well liked, great rapport with people, but they're like your football, you just know when it's time to move on.
Yeah.
You went to your teacher training. Lincoln, was that?
Yeah, I went to Lincoln Uni.
Lincoln Uni. And you're now a fully qualified teacher.
Yeah.
Where have you worked at since the days of Boston United?
I've had less schools than clubs. I started at Carlton Road, and then I went to do my teacher training from Carlton Road. I went to Gosburton Academy, and I'm now at my school, which I love. I love my job. It's at Greenfields Academy in Grantham.
Yeah. Working for our youth teams.
Finley's dad, he's my boss. Give him a mention, get a pay rise.
Shout out to Chrissy Armand. There we go. We've got it in. Pay rise coming your way, Jacko. Like I say, you absolutely love it. Circumstance being a dad, everything's all manageable. You're happy where you're at the minute, apart from obviously with the COVID stuff, and cannot wait to get back playing again. I'm sure of that. Cookie, have you got any more questions for Jacko?
Yeah, let's just go with the one more usual question. Just one thing you would give a young player coming up through, one bit of advice you'd give.
If I could take it from my experiences, you've got to, like Welsh said, look at the person you're against. Are you better than that person? If you're not better, what can you do to make yourself better? Do the extras, stay after training, practice your free kicks, your clearances, go to the gym, do as much as you can. Because at the end of it all, if you don't get selected, you can turn around and go, do you know what, I'll give it my all. It's based on my ability, not my hard work and dedication to it all. When you get there, when you find your level, make sure you play for someone that you respect and you enjoy the area that you're in. Don't chase the money.
Key bit of information from Mr. Lincolnshire. Jacko, that is literally from top of your head. Is there any more stories which are clean enough to share?
Honestly, I had so many stories lined up, and then when you text me saying, "Are they clean?" I had to really adapt and sit and think for an hour. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to keep them clean still.
We'll hopefully get other people's takes on it. I'm sure. Before you go, was you happy to make Jono's 1 to 11?
Oh, buzzing! Absolutely buzzing with that. I texted him privately, going, "Oh, do you know what? Thank you." And his kind words were really, really nice.
Yeah.
It really, really made me smile.
There we go. Off script, mate, putting smiles on people's faces. That's what we're all about during this time. So, Jacko, that's all from me. Cookie, that's all from you, yeah?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Jacko.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Jacko, really appreciate you coming off script, mate. Yeah, thanks for that, and we'll hopefully see you playing very, very soon. All right.
Take
care, mate. See you soon.
Bye.